10 Ways to Become a Safer, Happier Driver. Road rage is one of the most dangerous things that can happen while driving. It can result in aggressive driving, which can lead to accidents and injuries. It can also cause road rage incidents, which can be deadly. Here are some tips on how to prevent and avoid road rage. Road rage is dangerous because it can lead to aggressive driving. Aggressive driving can be defined as operating a motor vehicle in a manner that endangers or is likely to endanger persons or property. It can also include speeding, tailgating, weaving in and out of traffic, making improper lane changes, and running red lights. All of these behaviors are dangerous and can lead to accidents. To avoid road rage, try to stay calm while driving. If someone cuts you off in traffic, don't get angry. Remember that getting angry will not get you to your destination any faster. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. Road rage and aggressive driving, prevention, avoidance and management. We've all been there before. Stuck in traffic, running late for an appointment and the car in front of you just won't move. The frustration builds until it boils over and you find yourself screaming at the top of your lungs, giving the driver in front of you the finger or worse. We've all experienced road rage, but what is it exactly? Road rage is a form of aggressive driving that can lead to violent confrontations, property damage and even death. It's important to learn how to prevent road rage, how to avoid it if you see it happening and how to manage it if you find yourself in the middle of a road rage incident. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. We've all been there. You're driving along, minding your own business, when suddenly another driver cuts you off or runs a red light and boom, you're in a collision. Traffic accidents are unfortunately a common occurrence on our roads and highways. But there are things you can do to avoid them. First and foremost, always drive attentively and defensively. Be aware of what other drivers around you are doing and be prepared to take evasive action if necessary. Don't tailgate or weave in and out of traffic, this is only going to make an accident more likely. And always obey the posted speed limits, even if everyone else is speeding, it's not worth risking an accident. If you do find yourself in an accident, stay calm and try to move your vehicle to the side of the road if possible. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. One of the most dangerous and frequent types of traffic accidents are head-on collisions. Head-on collisions often occur when one driver veers into oncoming traffic, or when two vehicles going in opposite directions collide. These accidents can be especially deadly, as the force of the impact is multiplied by the speed at which the vehicles were traveling. Rear-end collisions are another type of accident that commonly occurs on roadways. These accidents often happen when one driver is following another too closely, and rear-ends them when they brake suddenly. Rear-end collisions can also be caused by bad weather conditions, such as icy roads. Side impacts, or T-bone accidents, can also be very dangerous. These occur when the front end of one vehicle collides with the side of another vehicle. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. Speeding, distractions, and intoxication are all poor driving behaviors that can lead to traffic accidents and collisions. Speeding is one of the most common causes of accidents. It is estimated that speeding was a factor in nearly 30% of all fatal crashes in 2017. Distractions, such as cell phones, are also a leading cause of accidents. In 2017, there were 3,166 people killed in distracted driving crashes. Intoxication is another major cause of traffic accidents. In 2017, 10,874 people were killed in drunk driving crashes. These numbers make it clear that poor driving behavior is a major problem on our roads today. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. As the number of Americans who use drugs and alcohol continues to rise, so does the number of car accidents caused by driving under the influence. In fact, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, nearly 30% of all car collisions are caused by drivers who are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. While many people think that only alcohol can impair their ability to drive, there are actually a variety of drugs that can have this effect, including prescription medications and over-the-counter medicines. And, it's not just illegal drugs that can be problematic, even some legal substances, like marijuana, can make it difficult to drive safely. Fortunately, there are things you can do to help avoid a roadway collision if you find yourself behind the wheel while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. In the United States, it is illegal to drive under the influence of drugs or alcohol. The current DUI laws are strict and can result in heavy penalties. If you are caught driving under the influence, you could face jail time, a fine, or both. It is important to know the facts about drugs and alcohol before you get behind the wheel. Alcohol affects your ability to drive by slowing down your reaction time and impairing your judgment. Drugs can also affect your ability to drive, depending on the type of drug and how it affects your body. Driving under the influence is a serious offense and can have severe consequences. If you are caught driving under the influence, you could face jail time, a fine, or both. It is important to be aware of the risks before you get behind the wheel. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. When it comes to operating a motor vehicle, drinking and driving do not mix. In fact, alcohol is a major contributor to traffic accidents. Each year, drunk driving crashes claim the lives of thousands of people and injure many more. Despite the well-known dangers of drunk driving, far too many people continue to get behind the wheel after drinking. If you are going to drink, make sure you have a designated driver or take a cab home. And if you see someone else who appears to be impaired, don't let them drive. It could save a life. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. Most people know that it is illegal to drive under the influence of alcohol. But did you know that it is also illegal to drive under the influence of drugs? Drugs can impair your ability to drive just like alcohol does. If you are caught driving under the influence of drugs, you could face serious consequences. Here are some facts about driving under the influence of drugs. Driving under the influence of drugs is just as dangerous as driving under the influence of alcohol. Both can impair your ability to drive and increase your risk of getting into an accident. If you are caught driving under the influence of drugs, you could face serious consequences. You may be fined, lose your license, or even go to jail. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below. In the United States, it is estimated that 1 in 3 people will be involved in an alcohol-related car crash at some point in their lives. Despite this staggering statistic, many people continue to get behind the wheel after drinking. Driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol is a serious offense that can lead to jail time, loss of driving privileges, and high insurance rates. If you are caught driving impaired, you could face serious consequences. There are a number of ways to prevent yourself from driving under the influence. If you are going to be drinking, make sure to have a designated driver. If you are taking prescription medication, be sure to check with your doctor before getting behind the wheel. And always remember, if you feel impaired in any way, do not get behind the wheel. For more driver education tips, study guides, and permit exam information, subscribe and click the links below.